Namaskaram. We are continuing with Panjali Swayamvaram, where Arjuna won the test by hitting the target in the prescribed manner. And there was some quarrel after that. The kings who had assembled were not happy that what they failed to do, a mere Brahmin boy had succeeded. So they challenged him and there was a fight. We went into that. Karna challenged Arjuna and Arjuna defeated Karna. And Shalya, fought with Bhima, who pulled a tree and fought with Shalya and thwarted his advances. Arjuna, it is said, he picked the bow which was kept there for the test, and there must have been arrows also there. Of course, Bhima didn't have his gada, his mace with him. And then the Pandavas, with Draupadi came to the house where Kunti was kept. I think I forgot to mention that it was a potter's hut where they found accommodation for Kunti and for the 5 of them. And Panchali also came, and it was Yudhishthira who announced that, Mother, we have come with the arm which we received. He said it symbolically, and Kunti took it verbally, and she said, oh, then you divide equally among the 5 of you. And then she realized it was a bride who was brought as arm. Draupadi came in and bowed before Kunti, and then Kunti realized what a mistake she made, and she was worried how to make her words true. In the sense, if she didn't make it true, then she becomes a liar. And if she does, then it becomes a break with the tradition. It's unheard of for most people. And she was worried like that. And Krishna wanted to meet the Pandavas privately, so he came with Balarama, his elder brother, and they came to the hut. Krishna followed them, came to the hut and greeted the 5 Pandavas. He bowed before Yudhishthira and Bhima and received the prostration from Nagula and Sahadeva. Arjuna was his equal. That was how their ages were. Yudhishthira, Bhima, then Krishna and Arjuna, then Nagula, Sahadeva. Balarama also did likewise. There were only few days difference, Balarama and Krishna. And Krishna didn't stay long. He said, we had heard, and I had also had guessed that you hadn't expired in the house of wax. So I was looking forward to this day of meeting you. And incidentally, in the assembly where the test was done, when Arjuna and Bhima were fighting with the kings, then itself Krishna pointed them to Balarama and said, if I am not mistaken, they are the Pandavas. I had heard rumors then that they didn't perish in the flame in the house of wax. And now I am very sure the one who won the test is Arjuna, and the one who is fighting with that uprooted tree is Bhima, and their elder brother Yudhishthira is seated there, and so are Nagula and Sahadeva. He had pointed them to Balarama, and that is the first time in the story of Mahabharata when the cousins met for the first time. There is no earlier incident where they had met, as reported in Mahabharatam. And now also they formally met, and Krishna said, I don't want to stay long. You are staying incognito, so I don't want to make a fuss, let me go. And Krishna left. And Drishtadyumna, who wanted to find out whatever information available about the future groom of his sister. They were not sure whether they were Brahmins, true Brahmins, or Kshatriyas, or Vaishyas, what. They were all convinced that he was a very capable person. But what was he? What was his birth? From which family? So he was curious to know. That's why he also followed the Pandavas, and he was hiding when Krishna was inside. When Krishna left, Drishtadyumna tried to overhear their conversation. And from their movements from close angles and from their words, he got a suspicion that they are not Brahmins. They must be Kshatriyas. So he went back. Before that, the Panchala king had sent a messenger inviting them to his palace as soon as possible for a formal dinner. And he invited them, the Pandavas, there. So the Pandavas followed Drishtadyumna and the messenger to the Panchala kingdom. There were chariots. They went in chariots to the palace, and they had a sumptuous dinner arranged. And Draupadi had arranged an informal exhibition of various artifacts. Some were artifacts used in yajna, which Brahmins used, and others were weapons of warfare, and there were agricultural implements, and his idea was to test where the Pandavas' attention go. And right to his guess, the Pandavas were fussing around the weapons. But he noticed it but didn't pretend. And they were, after dinner they were talking, and Draupadi asked, I do not know who you are. You don't look like Brahmins, but who are you? Then Yudhishthira first said, look, we are Brahmins, wanderers. We heard about this marriage and we came. But Draupadi persisted. She said, please tell me the truth. Please tell me frankly. Because it is important for me to know to whom my daughter I am giving. Then Yudhishthira told about their background, that they are the Pandavas, and by then, from Drishtadyumna's words, Drishtadyumna confidently had reported what his findings were. So he guessed, and he was very happy that Arjuna had won his daughter's hand and true to his desire. And he said, "Oh, I am very glad that I'll be giving my daughter in marriage to Arjuna." Then Yudhishthira said, "Not to Arjuna alone, because I am there and so is Bhima to marry before Arjuna marries. So our decision is that 5 of us together marry your daughter." And Draupadi said, "No, that is unheard of. This is against the law, against the precedent. One man can marry more than one girl, but for a girl to marry more than one man is against the scriptures, against any precedent." And they were quarreling with that, and Draupadi insisted, "No, I can't give her to 5 of you together. It was Arjuna who won the test, and I shall give her to Arjuna." And when this was going on, and Kunti was also there, and Kunti mentioned that she, without knowing, said that you share the arms equally, and the arm turned out to be your daughter. So I am reluctant to change my words. And then was Vedavyasa arrived on the scene, and he heard what each of them had to say. And he said, "It is not true that there is no precedent." And he gave at least 3 examples in olden days where Maharshis and kings, they had married more than one husband for one wife. And he, what is it called, gave the history of Draupadi, who had prayed to Shiva for a suitable husband, and Shiva, Draupadi, in her anxiety, asked 5 times, "Please give me a good suitable husband, 5 times." So Shiva blessed. "Since you asked me 5 times, you will have 5 husbands." So Vedavyasa quoted that also. So everyone, the Draupadi didn't have anything to object, because Vedavyasa, who was quoting precedents, and his authority was unquestioned. So they came to an agreement. So we'll continue with this tomorrow. Namaskaram.